welcome back to Craig Plays Games. I'm your host, Craig, and we are here with another exclusive video in our series focusing on the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is our 21st video in this series, as we are on episode 5, the fourth part of that episode. Before we dive on in and give you a recap, let's go ahead and get our plugs out of the way. You are checking us here out on YouTube at Craig Plays Games. Feel free to like our videos if you are enjoying what we're doing here. Hit that subscribe button up at the top if you want to show some love and join the family. And hit that notify bell so you're made aware of when we go live with a new video. We usually have a new video go online once a day between our exclusive YouTube series as well as our Twitch live streams. You can find us over on Twitch at Craig Plays Games, where we have usually about 4 live streams a week, playing a variety of multiplayer and online games. You can go ahead and hit the follow button over there, and then come hang out in our chat. If you hit that follow button, it will let you know when we go live. You can come hang out, and it's designed to be an interactive chat to hang out with you guys. In addition, you can find us on Twitter at Craig Plays Games, where we give updates to our schedule, general commentary, and we're pretty interactive with our tweets over there as well. So follow us over there, tweet at us, and we'll shoot you a tweet back. With that being said, let's dive back on in as we save our progress. So we're on episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. We just finished the second half of a trial day, and that day saw the chief of police show up and throw a wrench in everything as we are defending the chief prosecutor, who's been accused of murder of a detective, though, that was murdered in 2 places at the same time, which seems impossible for that to happen. So let's go ahead and figure out what the heck is really going on here. February 23rd, back at the law offices. Emma is trying to figure out what's going on. So trust me, we don't know what's going on any better than you, Emma. I'm a little confused. What is going on? Oh, the victim was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this? And the evidence room part. The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Well, that's what we're going to find out. Or try to, at least. Alright, let's do it. Well, she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright, huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. I mean, they might be for show. You don't wear them all the time. Let's go. Science awaits us. Alright, so we're back at the prosecutor's office, the parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in the evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum, was it empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril. What? What is that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. Wouldn't the police have already done those tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own. That's the truth. Just give it a try. Why do I have to do it? Minor, I can't even drink yet. I mean, yeah, we're definitely just testing bloodstains, not drinking it. Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses. What? Why do we need extra glasses? Okay. Press the A button to spray it on. Okay, let's find out some bloodstains. Alright, got some blood over there. You can see her eyes shining behind those glasses. So is this a bloodstain? It's so ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Okay, well, we definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd, scientifically speaking, of course? I mean, is that the only place where a man that was stabbed to death would be bleeding? Probably not likely. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, Look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. If they fought here, there would have to have been more blood than this. Exactly. I'm gonna mark up the floor plan when we find the blood stain, okay? Alright. See, I'm pretty handy to have around. Yeah, you are. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Well, interesting. Can't be sure that the police will reveal all their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. And let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. We're definitely investigating crime. Who is... hello, Angel. You only trust your own eyes, Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. No, we're good. Not gonna eat, raw sushi that's a day old. That's been in your bag. Alright. Certainly been in a tight spot today. It was my fault. Oh, we know. Am I just laying down on SmackDown? I witnessed everything from that security room right there, but I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see? I was wrong to think that, I'm sorry. You lied on the witness stand. I mean, a lot of people be lying on the witness stand. Not one person's been held perjury charges yet. I think actually one has. Don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw her stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman at me, but you're not a detective. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective. Yes, it was a long time ago, 2 years ago. No matter how hard on the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Confess, babbled like babies, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I could be an angel too. Wouldn't doubt it. Every day I dragged the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect, and before long they called me Cough Up Queen. Here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident. Oh, interesting. Very, very interesting. So, let's see, there's a photograph. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room, but even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. That's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime. Those 5 minutes. The whole of my testimony. 5 minutes weren't the problem. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl, I've had my testimony disregarded before, and I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. It tells me about the SL7. There's no knife and on that note. Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case. That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected, it isn't over. Do you think you could tell us more about the incident? Let's find out more about this incident. I really opened up my eyes to the truth, where nothing to them disposable. 2 years ago was the biggest case I'd ever handled. Some characters, that's for sure. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence, so they didn't solve it. On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was they never did find decisive evidence, not a shred. Wow. Made up evidence. You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. You were one of those. Myself and one other person you know well. Ooh. Detective Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated the case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined, and then it was over, and he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side, and that's what we're after now, and no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Those lunches you sell. There's only one reason I come to sell lunches in this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. What does she have? Just when all the detectives on SO9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. Has to be a connection. So, rookie, seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. Interesting. What do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. But now he's so cold. Jake and I are merely cooperating. We're putting the past to rest as it were, nothing more than that. Alright. So this is the famous soldier. Oh, not to make the president, I'll try to kick it over myself. Don't break your foot. Hit the wrong button. Don't touch stuff we don't need to be touching. Can't hear anything. My ears. Maybe it's due to barometric pressure. You can hear just fine. The phone's broken. Where near that? Aha, a ladder. It's a step. Okay, we went for all that. Okay. Skipping all that. That. Let's see, anything else? Okay. And we have this, the B block, that's for the business. I'm over there. Try to climb that thing? Maybe there's a lunch lane Olympics team. Alright. Can I use more of that stuff? Alright. Okay. So we have her name on the bottom of that bottle. What kind of world do you think we live in? I mean, one that we just keep investigating murder cases like every other day. Okay. Alright. Where to now? Let's see. Go to the detention center. Looks like she's in questioning. How did you kill him in two places at the same time? I know. Didn't Mr. Gant say they'd arrested a suspect in the police department murder? Who was that? That's a great question. Let's see. Criminal Affairs Department. Can we go in there? Oh, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but the same detective was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot. First things first, let's go check out the police department crime scene. I doubt anyone wants more mysteries or dead bodies around here right now, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us much either. Alright. Maybe. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. The detective did get killed here after all. So the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. It's just like a kid at an amusement park. Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. Are they just going to let us in? Okay, to the guard station. Evidence room entrance, guard station. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. It's very Detective Marshall. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room, so beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime. Sure seems that way. It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where is the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Yeah, that's for sure. Security guard uniform hanging there. Looks like a costume. Leather jacket, leather pants, leather... What was that called again? A punchy, a paunchy, a pinchy. I know, a poochie. Maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho, but I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being. It must be a rodeo. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. Encased in a cold, rigid shell with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her. Wow, that's dark. I'm not so sure I see the resemblance. It's more an attitude thing than a physical similarity. A lasso's on the floor. Looks like it's set up to trap something. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here, but the lasso isn't really a bull. The evidence room is beyond that door. You thought it'd be open? I think we'd need someone's permission to go in there first. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's see. Anything else to examine? The swinging door makes this place look kind of like a saloon, but look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch. I'd say it'd be more of a yarg myself. Okay. What am I trying to do now? Anything else to examine here? Not that I'm seeing. Space discharger, frantic energy. Please. Oh, what's that? Once take lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Take the gunship. No, there's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Oh, poor Gumshoe. Now's no time for despair. We've caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... You heard about the stabbing at the police department evidence room, right? Yeah, that's what we heard in the trial. Skip through all this, because we've already gone through all this. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking is gonna fill my belly. Wait, don't leave. If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Later. He ran off to the evidence room while this investigation officer running start. Well, hold on, let's go back to the... He's not here. Okay. Alright then. To... the detention center. Finally. So, I do feel better about things a little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed him, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best not go too far down that road right now. Things would just get confusing. What the heck is that noise? I'm saying, me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was the perpetrator again, sir. That's what I'd say. Ooh. What? Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. That's Meekins. What? So you're a guard here? No, I'm not. I'm a little lost patrolman, like a little lost lamb. You're here to deliver a report? No, sir. How should I say this? Wait. You didn't, did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir. Oh my goodness. It's getting ridiculous. I'm a patrolman with General Affairs, sir. Ow, I can hear you just fine. Stop yelling into the megaphone. I had some business that day, and so I went to the evidence room. The guard station in front of the room was empty. So normally there's a guard there. That's right, because evidence is kept in the evidence room. Now the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, a suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person. Okay, calm it down. Why are you choking yourself? So what happened then? After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. When I came to you, I was here, in the detention center. What were you out for? I mean, come on. What happened to your hand? There was no one to bandage me, sir, so I did what I could to wrap it up. Bandage? That's the second person with a bandage on their hand. Yeah. First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand. Well, first, you killed Detective in the evidence room, right? Please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes. If you have to label me as a perpetrator or victim, then label me victim. Okay. I will, but you happen to be in detention. And alive and well at that. Yeah, well that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim? No, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So I didn't know him. I work in a tiny department devoid of light or other creature comforts. Weird. So if he was a total stranger, why'd you stab him? I had no intention of killing him. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. So what happened to your hand? That happened during the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? There was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do. Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered. The next thing I knew, I was unconscious. But there's a whole period in time where he came and saw the prosecutor in between the death and him getting in detention center. He disappeared. Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hand. The victim's body disappeared. That's a story. Anything to present to him? That's the one. I was an officer in my dream and I was being peeled. On second thought, you don't have to look at the knife. He's overreacting to the knife, but I guess he's been through a lot. Anything else? Okay. So, this is getting weird. Get to the evidence room now. Does not appear so. Is there something else to do with that guy? I guess there's something that we need to present to him. Sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Edgeworth. He's passing the buck. I'm trying to find something that might register. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow. He's not here. Guess we'll have to come back. Okay. It doesn't exactly sound like typical elementary school stuff, but he always hated receiving awards. He'd make some smart remark like, I know the path I've walked, no one else needs to tell me. That's how he's always been. Kind of gets under your skin, doesn't it? Work desk. Why is Goodman, or why is the detective gumshoe keep popping up? Back from the dead, Wendy. I've heard that name somewhere before. At the bottom of his foot, between a rock and a hard place. Wendy. No. Alright, I don't think there's anything here. Let's see, can I get maybe... Don't know where to go next. Let's see. There's something we still have to do with Mika's. I'm just gonna show him everything we have. Let's see if anything else triggers. Laugh at me. What? I know what you want to say. You're going to tell me how she has one just like it. Why would I? No, sir, no. I'm not the only. I'm the only one without a girl with matching badges. Nowhere. I'm all alone. Okay. All right. I like to think there's a difference between my badge and that fashion accessory. Oops. Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey, that's it, sir. That's it. That's it. That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment, but sir, now I remember. I remember. You mean you remember what happened? Correct. That card. That card was the cause of it all. Exactly. Nothing could be more exact. I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Crime details. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman, a lost little lamb. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman who was in the evidence room, and that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, that's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked him to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me. Wow. I assure you I was as flustered as you are right now, so I whooped and leapt at him. Pointed a knife at him. Do unto others before they do unto you. My own father's words. What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir, everything went white. When I woke, I was here. Right. So why was it that they arrested you? What do you mean? Well, let's look at what we know. Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim whom he met at the scene of the crime didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died. That is, I did say something along those lines. What? He ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time, Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly. No, but the videotape is quite clear. A videotape. From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on tape. So, you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. I have my own. Well, I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Alright, so back to the crime scene. Oh no, I guess not this crime scene. Can we now get... Let's see. I guess we can try here. The police chief is here. What is he doing here? I'm sure he's most likely totally perfect. We checked all under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine. Let's see, well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away, deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again. Looking a little flustered. Righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much? Stop talking about swimming. Is he going to be okay? Or where are they? Oh, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boys since last year. You mean the incident on Gourd Lake? Doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? You got someone else found guilty in that case. I did. Karma, a prosecutor. But in court, you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they just do about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that committee decides, it could be bad for Worth. Downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf, too, I mean. Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular was a little sensitive and I can't talk about it. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets. Can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives strapped shut. So he was the one you were picking on earlier. I wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. What exactly did the chief want you to do? See over there, that's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check if it might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Goodman is still here? Of course not. Except for this. What? He didn't even finish writing. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. Lost item? Did he lose something? The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. I never thought the day would come when Rido asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. Oh, he's just gonna stare at me again? Sorry, I don't need to investigate after all. Please, do I look like a selfish man? What? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problemo. So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. For you here, you can borrow this. What? This is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. It's an honor. Just run along and do your best now. Later, folks. So, off to... Okay, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now. I think this place is a bad influence on her. Alright, back to the police department entrance. To the guard station. And we have the ID card from Chief. Let's just walk in. Open. Aha, the card readers turn off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Alright, well, I'm not gonna read everything this crazy guy has to say. Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here is my saloon. Yeah, we're investigating the crime scene. That card you got there in your chest, that's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. What are you standing there? Get along, low doggers. Crime scenes await. Looks like the card reader is on. Over here, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions. I said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with those hombres. I'm off to roam the lands like a tumbleweed on the wide prairie. What the hell is that? Hold up. You're from Texas. No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, sure. What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Alright, you win. He's willing to talk. You're in charge of this evidence room. I got eye as partner. It's an easy job and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little dog. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, might not look like it, but I lost my fire for the job. So what were you doing around 5:15? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway in the back of my steed, Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. I mean, the security camera system? I don't take to machines. I kind of like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire. So you're still investigating the incident. That was my case. It's all solved in the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. Can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. The evidence transferals. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. So nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. Are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. A card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. Interesting. So this is the ID card record. I've seen that somewhere before. I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years, so we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake. So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? And goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call a transferal. We do it every February. You can see now. It's like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever, dead. Never to be reopened again, never to be reinvestigated, and that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Interesting. I guess we'll go into the evidence room. Quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room. It really is kind of like a graveyard. Like a morgue. Gumshoe, what are you doing in here? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head. So it's true what I heard? Yeah, it's true. So Chief of Police can't will loan anyone $50, even me? Okay. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. Guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're a boss for a day. Alright. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans. Boss for the day. That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here. But if you're a boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? You're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation again. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. My old evidence locker. Pal, you have a locker in here too? They gave me a locker that only I can open. You can open. I always believe in Edgeworth no matter what happens. So, he's in with the inquiry committee. We're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. Let's see, I guess this is what you call fate. You just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, the SL9 case. That was the beginning of the end for him. Yeah, definitely need to find out more about that case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Fingerprint. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. On the other side of the handle is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Interesting. Alright, let's examine. not responsible for the evidence here. Instead, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. He doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're gonna talk about behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Car door. What a sorry looking fishing pole. That's my personal pole. I never did go around to using it. I've seen that somewhere before, right? That's the metal detector, the one that led to the solving of the case. Definitely for the gauges go. And I don't think I've seen this one before. That's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it will come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. Someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Apparently from the case. That's our 9 case. See the sticker on one of the pieces here? Spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. Oh, this piece was like the bottom. I'll try putting the rest in place. Interesting. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Let's see. There we go. There we go. What is this thing? Guess I'm missing a chunk of it. think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far too in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I don't understand how it got broke. The red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. You sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Paint randomly saying, what is a saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. Notice that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger. Well, you might say this is my studio. What? Why is the evidence room your studio? Why are some of the pieces missing too? Doesn't seem most stable. No wonder it broke. Make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. We have bloody handprint. Looks like someone tried to wipe it off. What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use our testing fluid to check it out. Okay, how do I just use it? See a piece of evidence and nothing, I'll say nothing. Nothing. That's fine. Bad, it's fine. Okay. So how do I use this thing? Oh, let's see. Oh, some more blood. It must have been one massive pool of blood. Not a professional. What's your opinion, Detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien? Oh, okay. So something did happen in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. You thought it was an alien. Again, how does that think the only place the blood is? Anything else? Examine. Someone left a glove here, but only one. It's evidence from the case. Does have a tag on it? That's everything from this room. Zoom it back to the guard station. The only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is near a wall, no rest here. I guess I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Okay. Oh my goodness, it doesn't answer anything. Anything else we can show him? Let's see. Yes. Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. That was his first big case. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. Why would evidence from that case turn up now? Guess it's not over. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Maybe Edgeworth is back in his office now. Nope, wrong way. Does not appear so. Anything else we can present to him? Anything else? Anything else we can spray? Oh, that's interesting. Bloody handprint is on that one. There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if you fled out the door. That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there. What's this? It's called luminol testing fluid. This material just borrowed $50 from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I was buy it by mail order. Well, I better jot this down on the floor plans. Then spray in here, but nothing. There we go. What's the matter, Jacob? This locker is mine. Sure, please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. It's an important clue. I'll just jot down the floor plans. Let's see. That was a bloody violent case, so it was murder. A serial killing. The killer made a mistake, and Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. 2 years ago. But fortunately, it was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective was the detective in charge of the case, so a switchblade knife. The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself. Let's see. It's definitely on there. At 5:14. So use F5 right before the stabbing. There's only one of them cars in the world. So when the incident occurred, he was in the evidence room. Don't think that was Detective Goodman. I think that was someone dressed as Detective Goodman. Guess I can give you this record. I got an idea. Maybe I should show this list of other people's IDs here. So let's go back and talk to Good Gumshoe. This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. I heard the rumors. It was whoa, what? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it? Edgeworth. Second number on this loss belongs to Edgeworth. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Is there something you need to be going to? It's just that Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to give them my report for the day. Might help you know, but... yeah, let's go check on Edgeworth. Why is the bellboy here? There, standing by the window, teacup in his hand. He has a hotel bringing tea service. That's weird. You're back from the inquiry. I am. By the way, Gumshoe was looking for you. Yes, he brought me this. Was it helpful? Apparently a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. Poor Edgeworth. I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Apparently, there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. We were lucky this time, again. I've heard them say that so many times, ever since that case 2 years ago. You okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the chief of police. I can do nothing but wait for his results. All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of, but still. So we need to present with him ID card record. Let's see. What's this record? I tricked you into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by the chief, no less. Weird. He wanted evidence for a case wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief has never wanted to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. The case. Can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. I mean, just because you tell me that doesn't mean anything. What about that new knife from this case then? It's to deal with that case you're on, SL9SA. Some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You're the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. Must be talking about his father's murder. Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. Talk to him. Allegations of forgery. It was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. He was a top officer and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. What I want to know is, why was the deputy chief of police on the investigation? I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I would do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. What did she want to know? If you were still studying forensic science. Luminol testing fluid. Well then, You might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. No say in today's investigation. Do as you will. No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Back in the evidence room. Investigation turned up a suspicious handprint right there. Here, in this blood undetected evidence locker. Let's just use a secret weapon we just borrowed. Alright, let's get started. First, let's choose a finger. Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. Let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. It's actually a lot easier than you think. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around with the A button, see? Oh, looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. With the X button, sad again now. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, see? Wow. Looks like fun. It's fine, it won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting. Oh, but this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigation. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely. Is there a print? It seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Good. Like this. Dust, 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 and blow. There's a fingerprint. Why didn't that work? There we go. That should up our way. So we're not Indian. This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? Yeah, I guess so. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Edgeworth and point out the person you think left these prints, huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Well, be Gumshoe. Match found. So these prints belong to Gumshoe. Something wrong? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking so what. Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. Gotta roll with the punches. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. That's right. Quite a bit of stuff now. it was here. It's a handprint. Okay. Want to try using this? There goes her eyes sparkling. Let's check for some prints. Warn you about something first, but the area with the blood was wiped away, right? I only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any print in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, I'm trying to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Something there. The kind of result won't be any good from magic print, but it doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print. Gotta try a different finger then. Let's see. Just hit A everywhere to see what we can find. Here. There we go. So looking for somebody. That looks pretty close. Yep, Jake Marshall's fingerprint. This Officer Marshall. That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. This is decidedly different from Detective Gunshoe's prints. The luminol reaction, the blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a white blood stain. Very interesting. Why would he... Looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. Odd. To be continued. Man, this one was a lot longer than any of the other ones we've done so far, so thank you guys for hanging out with us as we continue our journey through the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. This is us wrapping up the 21st video. We only have a handful more videos in the first game, so feel free to check us out again as we continue through our journey. Once again, just get our plugs out of the way. You're checking us out here on YouTube at Craig Plays Games. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button up above if you want to join our family. And hit that notify bell if you want to be made aware when we post a new video. We usually have a new video on here about, on average, once a day. Between our exclusive YouTube playthrough series and our Twitch live streams. You can find us over on Twitch at Craig Plays Games, where we play a variety of multiplayer open world games. Feel free to hit the follow button over there. That way you're made aware when we go live and you can come out and hang out with us and interact with us in the chat room. And then you can also find us over at Craig Plays Games on Twitter. Updates to our schedule and general commentary are usually posted there. We're also interactive over there, so if you follow us and shoot us over a tweet, we'll definitely respond to you. With that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll see you here next time on Craig Plays Games.